here. Hope all is well. Pardon my, I don't know if it's allergies or what, but they getting to me. I don't know what it is, but take y'all sea moss, drink y'all tea. I got my tea. You know what I'm saying? Staying warm and all of that. But I had to do this live tonight because there's been a lot of talk behind the Super Bowl halftime show. Okay, the Super Bowl halftime show that Bad Bunny performed on last night. Well, not last night, but 2 nights ago, because this is technically, what is it, Monday? No, Tuesday, right? So, um, once again, you know, I I wanted to see him perform. I wanted to see Bad Bunny perform because I've never seen him perform before live. I like some of his music. Um, I wasn't I didn't it didn't matter that he performed in a different language. I was cool with that. I've performed and sang in different languages. People appreciate, all races appreciate music in different languages. Um, I've performed across the world, singing different languages, whether it's Latin, German, whatever, Spanish, all those different languages, right? Um, so Hebrew, all these different languages. So I don't have a problem admiring watching a concert with someone performing. Um, what is this? Yeah, someone performing in a different language. I don't have a problem with that. Okay, what I do, what I do have a problem with is other artists not getting a fair chance. What I do have a problem with is favoritism. What I do have a problem with is gatekeeping happening to prevent a great or a good artist to excel. I do agree in certain forms of gatekeeping because if we don't have gatekeepers, then the gates open and anybody can create music and be on a platform that don't deserve to be on a platform because some of these platforms some of these artists promote negativity. Some of these artists promote violence. So if we have gatekeepers that are not protecting the gate from violence and negativity, then you're gonna have all type of artists performing and promoting um, those messages. So with that being said, yes, I do feel Chris Brown should be given a chance to perform. Right? Last year, everybody wanted Lil Wayne to perform at the Super Bowl because it was in New Orleans, right? They said it would be good for the culture of New Orleans. Lil Wayne, they can have cash money, they can have no limit. It could be a situation where it's just great for the state, great for the town, right? In so many different levels, so many different forms, because New Orleans has been through a lot from Katrina to whatever is going on in New Orleans from way back to now, right? The progression that New Orleans has had, right? But it was like, oh, it's not about that. This is business. Kendrick Lamar is a bigger artist. He can perform better than Lil Wayne. He's popping. He's hot. Like, and people say it wasn't Jay-Z didn't have no control over it. So it was a whole thing. Like people was like, yo, Jay-Z does not have control over who performs. He probably has a vote, but he does not have control. Right? So what did the hip hop community do? Lava, what's going on, family? Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. All right, we're having a great conversation this evening, okay? So what did we do? We had to chalk it up as okay, Kendrick is gonna perform. And we had to accept that, right? So this year, it's like they turned the tables on us, right? Everybody wanted Chris Brown to perform. That was the expectation that we thought, that's the expectation that we had, that Chris Brown should perform, will perform, it can happen, right? Now this is what happens. What happens now? Bad Bunny performs, and now it's flipped. Hey, what's going on, Fallon? Now the situation is flipped. Bad Bunny is performing because it's a cultural. It's more of a humanity, or it's a international thing. It's good business for the NFL because they're trying to expand. It's like they're creating all these reasons why Bad Bunny should perform at the NFL halftime show instead of, yo, Chris Brown is a better performer. Hands down, everybody knows Chris Brown is a better performer. Okay? Why couldn't we keep that same energy like last year and say, hey, listen, um, Kendrick is a better performer than Lil Wayne? You know, Kendrick has been last year. The only reason why Kendrick performed at that Super Bowl last year is because he had that song "Not Like Us," all right, and that was a diss song he had for Drake, and of course the media wants to promote that violence. They want to keep that Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef going. You know, the biggest song of ever. You know what I'm saying? So of course, why not have him performing at the Super Bowl, right? Is the NFL neglecting their U.S. fan base for trying to appeal to an? Yes, they are. They are. Yes, they are, because they're they're looking at the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that's the best way to do it, but they want to make more money. They want to make more money, Jay Rivers. You understand what I'm saying? So what do? You look for other routes. All right. You go international. Yes. Um, uh, 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 Bad Bunny is an international artist, right? Chris Brown is not an international artist. You understand what I'm saying? He performs internationally, but he is not looked at as an international artist. He's almost there. If he would have performed, if Chris Brown would have performed last night, he could have been looked at as an international artist after that. Because that is the type of platform that the Super Bowl can get you. They can get you to that level when you perform in the Super Bowl. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, Chris Brown is a better performer than um, Bad Bunny. You know, um, the song that Kendrick Lamar had last year, that was an international. That song became internet. People were, I'm not gonna say it was international, but the song was playing everywhere. It was moving. So my whole thing is like, it's good. It's like it didn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Now people are saying, hey, Chris Brown, he's a woman beater and stuff. This man he beat that girl up when he was 18, 19 years old, man. You understand what I'm saying? This kid was young. This kid was young. Does he not deserve a second chance? You understand what I'm saying? Does Chris Brown does he not deserve a second chance? Because Jay-Z's down with the jail best halftime show of all time, in your opinion. No, that was not the best time half show of all time. It wasn't. I'm sorry. I would be lying if I said it was. From a 1 to 10, I give it a 4. I give it a 4 or 5, brother. The only that's it. I'd give it a 4 or 5. The best halftime show is like Whitney Houston. Like, is it Whitney Houston? Um, maybe, yeah. I don't know who. I don't. It's been so long, you know. But it would have to be like one of the old school joints, man. You know what I'm saying? Nothing within the past 5, 6, 7 years, man. You know, um, even the Rihanna one. The Rihanna one, what was that? I think she was pregnant or something like that. She was just strutting across the stage, wasn't doing nothing. Like Jay Z, I don't think he is the best person to have in that position because because I feel like he's biased when it comes to a lot of relationships that he has with some of these artists. You know what I'm saying? Case in point, Chris Brown. If somebody was in an office who was never managing Rihanna or who never had her under her their label or whatever, maybe they would have had a different perspective of why Chris Brown could possibly perform. You understand what I'm saying? Going back to Chris Brown should be given a second chance. Yes, what he did was wrong. He had a domestic violence case. He was a young kid. She was young. Lord knows what was going on behind closed doors. But this man should be given a second chance. Okay? There's no reason why he shouldn't be given an opportunity to perform at the Super Bowl because of something he did when he was a younger kid, when he was a young kid. And that's what everybody's saying. Oh, if he performs, it'll be bad for business because, it could be canceled by the domestic violence community of women who were abused and things of that nature. This man has taken he listen, he watched his mother get abused. You understand what I'm saying? He like this is things that you know we have to take into consideration. Like, and we have to stop judging our people. Like we have politicians. We have politicians. You understand what I'm saying? That have done wrong, and they're given second, third chances. Some of them even become presidents or mayors or whatever the case is, and they are given second chances. Why can't he be given a second chance? We have to stop. And then, like I said again, Jay Z is supposed to be part of this jail reform system, nonprofit or profit organization, whatever it is. And why are you not standing for Chris Brown? Is it because you have loyalty for Rihanna? You understand what I'm saying? So everybody's praising Jay Z. Oh, Jay Z, he got Bad Bunny to perform and this, that, and the third. But I thought he didn't have the power to have people perform last year with Kendrick Lamar. I thought that wasn't in his hands. You understand what I'm saying? So, um, yeah. So it's a very sticky situation. I have nothing against Bad Bunny. Only thing that I'm against is keeping people down who are trying their best or who are doing their best, or have done their best to fix their wrongs. You understand what I'm saying? And Chris Brown, yeah, he has some slip ups, since the whole case of Rihanna, whatever the case is. But this man has still um, made successful moves. This man went on tour. His tour was ridiculously awesome. Like, why wouldn't people want to see Chris Brown perform? Like, the gatekeepers are doing their job because they know if they let Chris Brown through that gate to perform at the Super Bowl, right? He will be put on another level internationally as an artist that some people don't want because of the enemies that he's created. You understand what I'm saying? And there's so many corporations, so many people turn their back on Chris Brown. So by letting him perform at the Super Bowl would be like a sin to those corporate giants. And they don't want that. They don't want that. I watched a good brother. He was on an Instagram live. He's a social media content creator, and he said something about how, and this is why you see me, looking at my phone on other on the top of it because I'm getting so many responses to it. He said that Puerto Ricans and Black people have the same, like they had the same struggle or have the same struggle. No, we don't. Puerto Ricans and blacks do not have the same struggle. You see what I'm saying? I'm not the guy who's, and I can admit this, I'm not the guy who knows all of this information about my black history or the Puerto Rican history. I do know some things. I do know some things, but what I do know is that, Puerto Ricans, they did not receive the same profiling, attention that black people, that African Americans got. You got some Puerto Ricans that pass as white. You understand what I'm saying? And I've always noticed that, and as a black man, that Latinos, nothing against Latinos, but you have certain Latinos, they want to act black, or not just act black, but they want to be around black people when it's comfortable for them. You understand what I'm saying? But when they are around their own, then it's like, oh, they act funny. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? I know a couple thorough Latinos, Puerto Ricans, and Dominicans and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But to say that we are both that we have been through the same struggle is not accurate. I think that is a broad use of terminology. You understand what I'm saying when you say something like that. And I had to break it down for some individuals on Instagram and let them know, hey, listen, no, we it's different. What are we talking about? A financial struggle, like, some Puerto Ricans didn't have money, or they struggled like we did with buying clothes or living. If that's the case, then you can just say white people had the same struggles as us too, because there are white people out there that do struggle financially, that do struggle when it comes to economic struggles and mental struggles and all of these different things. You see what I'm saying? So, what people try to really undermine the Black African American struggle. Okay, so the African American struggle is historically and systemically. Okay, Black people in the U.S. carry a different historical weight. Okay, slavery, Jim Crow laws, redlining, mass incarceration, police profiling. Like I said, you never see police profiling Puerto Ricans, respectfully. You see, as a woman, I found the halftime show appalling. I hear you. Um, Generational wealth gaps, ongoing racial targeting. Okay, this is a 400 plus year system built specifically around anti-black racism. Okay, that's a different foundation. Okay, the key difference: race matters. Okay, Puerto Ricans are racially diverse. Some are black, some are mixed, and some are white passing. Okay, now you have some black Puerto Ricans. Some black Puerto Ricans often experiences many of the same struggles as black Americans. So the black Puerto Ricans, yes, they do sometimes, you know, they face the same struggles as black Americans. Just like you got some dark skinned Dominicans who may suffer the same, right? A lighter slash white passing Puerto Rican may avoid some of that racial targeting, like a Fat Joe, right? Fat Joe if Fat Joe wasn't Fat Joe, he could pass as white. If Fat Joe wasn't I don't know his real name, but if he wasn't a rapper, if he was just a regular dude, you know what I'm saying, from the Bronx or from wherever wherever he ended up living or whatever, when he got pulled over by the cops, he's a black man is getting pulled over by the cops before Fat Joe. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's what's gonna Fat Joe he's light skinned, he's blue eyes, he's Puerto Rican. Okay, even though I grew up in the hood and I'm Mexican, I still don't say the N word. Exactly. But you know why you don't do that, sir? Because you understand that the struggles were different. You did not have the same struggle as an African American, so you will not even think to address a black person like that. And that is where your respect. That's your way of respecting and honoring all right, an African American. Okay, people they always and the person who said that Puerto Ricans and blacks had the same struggle, this dude was black. Moreover, and this is why, people they get online and they say things because it might sound good. They say things because it might look good, but that's why we have to be careful how we speak on these social media platforms because we are delivering the wrong message to the people. Okay? Plus black folks don't walk around going, "Hey, SA, hey, exactly." And I don't even know what that means. I don't even know. I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that's slang for something disrespectful to Mexicans or whatever. But you know, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So um, where they overlaps. Okay, so these are where the communities. This is where the communities like the Puerto Rican community and the Mexican community, even some white communities, this is where we overlap, right? Poverty, there's poverty in every community, in every every race has a community of poverty. Okay? You have some black rich areas, you have some black areas of poverty. But just the fact that it's our word, it's your word. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing to DGAF. I appreciate that. And make sure you share the channel too, because you're not gonna get this kind of information or this type of conversation on a lot of these channels, bruh. Trust me, because they too a little too worried about getting thousands of subscribers that they're gonna say whatever the people want to hear. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you the truth. You feel me? So okay, so all of these communities often face poverty, discrimination, right? Underfunded schools, housing issues, stereotyping, and media misrepresentation. So many other races, you know, they go through that. There's even poverty communities for the Jewish community. All right, there are Jewish communities of poverty. Okay, Jewish, they had their own form of slavery, the Holocaust, but it was not the same as the African American slavery. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so there's shared struggle, especially in urban areas like New York City, Philly, Chicago. Okay, bottom line, Puerto Ricans face colonial and economic oppression. Okay, Black Americans, we face racial and historical oppression. All right. So we have to be careful how we speak in reference to these in these conversations. And often it comes from, media driven situations like the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like we out here busy trying to protect Bad Bunny, that we are not looking at the bigger picture. Even though he's out there giving love to all of these countries and saying and that's all fine and dandy. That's all fine and dandy. But are we really showing love to our neighbors? Are black and Puerto Ricans really showing love to each other like they're supposed to? Or Dominicans and blacks or blacks and Mexicans? Are we really showing love to our neighbors like we should be? Or do we discriminate against them? Because I've seen plenty of situations where a Dominican man could be dating an underage Dominican woman or young lady, right? And in their community, it can be okay. Oh, yeah, it's okay, Poppy. It's not frowned upon. But if there was a black man dating, not saying that it's right, not saying that it's right for a black man to be dating a underage Dominican woman. We're not saying that. I'm just saying that there's a favoritism towards their own kind. You understand what I'm saying? You have Dominican or Puerto Ricans, they cool around black people, but when they get around their own people, they don't act the same, man. And We got to stop acting like this is not happening. This is happening all the time. And then we get on TV and we want to wave our flag and say, "Oh, everybody's together." This, that, and the third. No, man, it's not. It's not. No, it's not. That's not what's happening out here, man. Cut the shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not happening. It's not happening, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's not happening. All this jumping around, waving all these flags. It's not happening, bro. I've seen too many times. I've seen too many times. You walk into you black boy walk into a Puerto Rican community or a Puerto Rican walk into a black community. All of these, it's too much racism going on, man. Too much. There's too much going on. And that's it. Nothing changes, bro. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's why when I see stuff like that, I'm like, man, just get Chris Brown on the stage. Let that boy perform, man. Let that man perform. And even if the message that he was promoting, they didn't even have like a subtitle, no caption for us to see it in English. We couldn't even see it. We couldn't even see it in English. They should have had a closed caption or whatever the subtitle. This should have been on the bottom of the screen so we could see what Bad Bunny was saying. But listen, there's an agenda. That's all I have to say. There's an agenda. I don't know what the agenda is. Someone said it a little earlier that they're trying to what they trying to do. They're trying to weed out the American audience of the NFL, and they're trying to get like a much more broader audience or whatever the case is. Um, cool, fine, dandy. You do what you want. I don't watch football anyway, and that's probably the thing. Americans are Americans are probably not watching football the way we used to. You understand what I'm saying? Because thank you. I'm gonna screenshot this. Thank you. My screen just froze. Sorry, because I just screenshotted it. 80% of USA did not watch that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, and I'm pretty sure the viewership for NFL games have been decreasing. So this was probably a way to um, get more people to watch the NFL, to watch football games. You understand what I'm saying? That 80% was made. Shout out to you, Dan's Adventure Across America. That 80% was made up by all of those Hispanics and Latinos that watch it in all those different countries, man. All those Latin countries, all of them, Costa Rica, everywhere. They all watched it because Bad Bunny performed. And like I told you, like I said, the NFL, they have been, their views have been decreasing. They have been down. They're down. Everything's going down. You understand what I'm saying? Because people have lives now, man. People are working. People are traveling more. They're busy. They're too busy to, and then you got YouTube, you got streaming. So that you're not even probably really not even able to track how many people are watching it like that. You understand what I'm saying? There's so many different outlets to watch football now. Why do you think they're breaking they are spreading the NFL so thin right now in front of our face? We do not even know it, man. Do not even know it. You got some games on Amazon Prime. You got some games on Netflix. You got some games on YouTube TV. You got some games on the corner. Like it's just for real. Bootleg. They bootlegging it, man. You understand what I'm saying? Back in the days, you had Channel 2, you had Channel 4. Those were the channels that the games is on. If you was getting money, you had games on ESPN. You know? Now they are stretching the NFL so thin, they can't see the next bus coming. So what do? Instead of a lighting the match and blowing a joint, we call our international star to take us overseas, to take us to the next realm of things. Do you see what I'm saying? So yes, Bad Bunny was the safety net. He created a safety net for the NFL. Chris Brown, they can't do nothing with Chris. They needed a problem solver. And I think their problem solver was Bad Bunny. It was Bad Bunny. And I'm pretty sure they came to the desk and was like, yo, we need to boost up. We need viewership. We need viewership. And would have Chris Brown got that same viewership um as Bad Bunny? I think so. Yeah. I think Chris Brown would have got more. I think Chris Brown, because the 80% that my brother right here was talking about, all right, they would have watched it. They would have watched it. And yeah, we would have. Next year, I'm really thinking twice about depending on who's performing. And I'm standing on it, man. I could have been out making money last night, man. One of my people, she made like 200 and something dollars last night. And she lives in North Carolina. This woman made $250 last night working from um like 12:30, 1 o'clock to like 7 at night doing Uber Eats. All right. And I live in Jersey. So if I'd have did Uber Eats from 12 to 7, I definitely would have made about a good $300. Definitely. Because I've done it before. The NFL will set up in Europe and Latin America where the new franchises will go. This is what I'm saying. As a 60-year-old white guy, I would watch as a 60-year-old white guy, I would watch that. I did not have a clue who this bunny guy was. I watched hockey at halftime. Yeah, man. Like the only reason why I watched him, and I'm gonna keep it a whole stack with you, bro. The only reason why I watched him because I was in Puerto Rico in no in August of last year, and the resort that me and my girlfriend stayed at, right? It was a whole bunch of people who were staying there to go see Bad Buddy perform. You understand what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, I just saw them coming in and out, in and out. They was all fly and they was getting into these fancy Uber cars and all that. So I'm like, who? I said to I'm in the room one night and I said, and I told the viewers when I was doing live out there, I said, I'm gonna listen to Bad Bunny to find out what this guy's about, what kind of music he sings, right? So I downloaded him on iTunes, right? And some of the songs that he performed that he has, I recognize them. I recognize them from black brothers that I know from Harlem singing his songs on YouTube. I mean, on Instagram on their stories. So I'm like, oh snap, that's what my boy he was singing that song, and this one was singing. Oh, all right, I know who this guy is. So I listened to his whole, not his whole catalog, but I want to say like his latest album. Lord Jesus. I listened to his latest album, and I was like, yo, okay, I like this guy, you know. But other than that, if I did not listen to him when I was in Puerto Rico, when hearing him that he's performing at the halftime show, I would not have watched it. I wouldn't have watched it. I would have been like, "What? Who? Bad Bunny? I'm not watching that crap. I'm not watching that crap." You understand what I'm saying? Bottom line. And moving forward, I'm not wasting my time no more with these daggone halftime shows. If they don't have artists that I want to see perform, I'm not gonna watch it because of the festivity feel of it. I'm not doing it no more. I'm not supporting the halftime show on that behalf. I'm done with it. Put somebody on there I want to see perform, and that's that. I'm not buying no more buffalo wings. I'm not buying no more celery sticks. I'm not buying no more carrot sticks. No more popcorn. No more Doritos. None of that. No more taking off work. None of that. If you don't have an artist performing that I like, that I will pay a ticket to go see, I'm not watching it anymore. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Because was it worth me missing a evening of overtime or work with Uber Eats? No. No, it wasn't worth it. Okay. It was worth it because I was with my lady. That on that behalf, yeah. But we can do that any night. Whatever happened to great shows? Prince, U2, Rolling Stones, Katy Perry was good. So was Eminem. Yeah, I don't know what happened to those shows. I don't know what happened to I know what happened. Jay-Z. Jay-Z is what happened. We're not getting those type of show. We're not getting that type of energy. We're not we was nobody was wild last night. We wasn't wild. I wasn't wild last year with Kendrick Lamar. The only part I was wild about Kendrick Lamar last year, I think, was when he had the guy, I think it was Samuel L. Jackson. He was doing like he did like a part, but it was, that was it. That wasn't Kendrick Lamar. I wasn't wowed by something that Kendrick Lamar did. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the point I'm trying to make. Chris Brown would have wowed the audience. We, our mouths would have been like this. No, no Diddy. I mean, pause. We'd have been like that the whole Chris Brown show. Because when I went to go see Chris Brown perform at Breezy Bowl, that is exactly how, bro. I did not sit down in my. I don't. Yo, yo. I stood up for at least 2 hours at the Breezy Bowl concert because I could not sit down. Chris Brown performed hit after hit after hit after hit. He did not, even when he went off stage for a 5 minute break or 10 minute break, the energy was still good because the DJ was playing his songs that he did had with features. The gatekeepers are keeping Chris Brown from performing, man. Chris Brown would have had my living room dancing and partying. Exactly, bro. Exactly. Like I don't understand why they don't want that for us. Why don't they want that for America? Why we deserve it. I feel like we deserve to dance. Do you know how many families? Well, I know there was a lot of Puerto Rican families dancing together, but do you know how many American families would have been in their houses dancing together to Chris Brown's music? You know what I'm saying? Couples, like America, we deserve it, man. That's why it's called the National Football League. Not international, respectfully, not international. It's not the IFL. It's the NFL. You understand what I'm saying? Like English is our first language. English is the first language of America, not Spanish. It's the second language. It's the second language. So we were I can't like what's going on here? What's going on here, man? We were supposed to have Chris Brown performing last night, and I really feel like I what needs to happen next year because there's certain words I want to stop using this year. Feel like when you feel something, no, just say what you mean. All of this you feel stuff. Say what you mean. All that like, feel like, what I mean. Say what you mean. You know. So we got to do better, man. We got to do better. We make too many excuses for greatness. Last night was an excuse. It was an excuse. Everybody's like, "Oh, it was a cultural thing, and yeah, it was." It's so much going on in politics right now with the immigrants and it ain't have nothing to do with that, bro. That's what they want you to think. Oh, let's put him out here to make him feel like make the people think it's it's a yeah, bring out like 20, 30 flags. No, buddy. The NFL is trying to expand the league. You got bamboozled. They bamboozled the Latin community. And that's the sad part. That's the part they don't want to hear. But I'm here to tell you that the NFL, they just bamboozled the Latin community. That was not a take for, oh, right after the freaking concert he performed, they had an ice commercial, bro. How disrespectful is that? How disrespectful is that? But they don't want to pay it. They didn't see that part because they was too busy, partying and whoop-de doing. They didn't that went right over their head. They didn't see nothing. They didn't see no ice commercials or nothing. Yes. Yes, they bamboozled them. Yes. Yes, everybody's running around here. And the illest part about it is that you have some intelligent people that are they're saying the same thing. On the same breath. Oh yeah, this is good for the Latin community. You know what I'm saying? And this is and also it's good for the NFL because they're trying to expand. Bro, did you just not hear what you just said? No, it is hilarious. Fucking, it's hilarious. Like, bro, did you not hear what you just said? You just said two things are happening at the same time, and you okay with that? You okay with those two different things that's happening at the same time? I'm just stating the facts, B. And yes, this episode will be clipped up on open. It will be clipped up and put on my Instagram page tomorrow, so people can see exactly what I'm talking about. And some will catch hard feelings, but guess what? I'm here to give you the truth. I'm here to give you the truth. I went to school for media. I have a bachelor's in media. I see through all the bull crap. Okay? I'm glad I waited to get my media degree to finish it because if I'd have got my media degree in 2007 or 2005 or 4 or whatever you want to call it, I would not be aligned with the type of media bull crap that is going on right now when it's needed the most within social media. This is bull crap. Do you make too much sense? And if people get butt hurt, that's all. Yeah, it's on them. It's on them. They can go on Amazon and they can order the box of baby wipes. I usually get the cotton nail ones. They like have like a really good sale on those. The Cottonelle ones are awesome. So if they feel that way, Amazon, Cottonelle, subscribe to those. Get them every twice a month, once a month, however much you want to. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, man. They got bamboozled them. Had those old men on there playing dominoes and they look like a empanada stand or something like that. Like they got bamboozled, man. And I feel bad for the Latin community because it's like you're giving them false hope. You just gave them false hope. Why do you think Donald Trump is out here making a freaking mockery of the show last night? You understand what I'm saying? And just embarrassing them, embarrassing them. You understand what I'm saying? Because he even knows it, but he's not gonna say it. He's not gonna say it because if he